Hey guys, so yeah, it's April 16th today, and right now we're going around power lines. What is a power line? It carries electricity, also known as hydro lines. Some power lines carry a whole heck of a lot more electricity than others. This is single phase power. Then you have three phase power that typically carries 3 wires on it instead of just 1. So I myself have never hit a power line, but a lot of farmers have, and they do. And no one's trying to hit a power line. I better not hit a power line myself here as I'm talking about it. But machinery's getting bigger. Like, it's hard to see how far that sucker is out there, okay? And these air drills, they wagon steer. Wagon steers, hence those steering tires, which means it's not a fixed piece on that frame. Wagon steer means it's going to be far more delayed, okay? So just when you think that, oh yeah, that's good, I'm good to get around that thing. Hold on, I gotta turn my radio off. So just when you think it's good that I can make it around, all of a sudden your wagon steer keeps going and you get too close. Also, you gotta watch that you don't get too close to the power lines because machinery is getting taller. Okay, sorry about that. Didn't mean to make you sick there. Sometimes I think I'm only clearing these lines by a few feet, and keep in mind that power can arc probably a few feet. So we're gonna go under it again. We're going under it right here. Tractor's fine. Sometimes it's just that cart that gets awfully close to it. And normally it's right where the power line would droop the most, which would be in the middle between one pole to the next pole. You would have that sag. That's that in that sag, that's where your lowest point would be. That's what always makes me nervous. Okay. What I just did here is I made one round around the power pole. Okay. Typically I don't do that. I like to stitch it or weave my way in. So I'll typically hang my boom over, or my boom, I'm talking spraying now, my wing, and I'll go this way, and then I'll go like this, dip in, and then hang out, and go to the next pole, dip in, hang out, and so on and so forth, and then just stitch it on the way back. That way you don't actually have to lose all your time going around every power pole. Going around every power pole is not very time efficient, and there is some more risk that you could screw up on your steering and pull down a pole. So since there's a little bit more risk in that, you can guarantee you that Mike is going to go around every power pole just for the video purposes. So you hope that you don't get too close. You hope you don't get too close. Remember, I'm turning, but the drill's still coming. Remember, I'm turning, the drill's still coming. There you go. Now the drill is just starting to turn. And I'm well into my turn. See? There, now the drill's really starting to turn. Also, something else that could catch you off guard is if the drill hooks something on the end, it could yank it over. Also keep in mind that the drill sticks out past that tire probably 4 feet. 4 feet, you gotta remember, it's still sticking out there that you can't see. Now, turning around power poles is hard on your mid-row banders, as you can see. I'm just doing this for video purposes. I just want you guys to see all this. Okay, now, see, I think I've overturned. I'm trying to get straightened out, but the drill is still turning. The drill is still turning. It's still turning. It's getting a little too close to that power pole for my comfort. That's wagon steering for you, okay? So you just gotta feel it. You gotta know. There, I'm gonna pick my drill up so I don't double seed here. Now let's do the stitch method. I've done 2 rounds around a pole. Let's do the stitch method on the next 2 poles, okay? So I got my auto steer back on. So I'm just hanging out my wing. You'll see a little bit past that pole to the best of my judgments right now. Also, it should be noted that when you are going around power poles, you want to make sure that you're ready to either A, hit the clutch, or pop it out of gear. If you're to get too close, get that thing stopped as fast as you can. Hopefully you can get yourself out of a bad situation before it's too late. So now I'm going to start turning. My tractor's turning, but my drill is still going very much straight. It's still going straight, it's still going straight, it's still going straight, it's still going, okay, now it's starting to turn, and it turns fast. I'm well into my turn, the drill's still coming toward me, still, see? I would have liked it to turn a little bit sooner. Just wanted to show you here, I'm just doing all this for examples. See how far away I am? I don't really like to see that. There we go, that's a stitch right there, or whatever you want to call it. You're weaving them. And you're going to straighten yourself back out. I actually prefer this method is because you don't actually have to go underneath that power line. Because like I said, sometimes that power line is awfully low, and it makes me nervous. So you never actually have to go under it. And where you do have to go under it, if you have to go under it, I should say, make sure you go under it the closest to the pole, right? Because the sag is in the middle, you're gonna have the most line clearance the closest to that pole. So I'm gonna start pulling out here. It's hard to do this and video and everything at the same time. This one's a little extra complicated. I have a fence line right here on the other side. So this one, since it's the end pole, my end of my field ends right here at that plastic, I'm gonna have to pick that up. But I'm gonna go around it because my field ends. There, look how close that line is right there. Watch this. Watch how close this line gets to us. Oh, sorry. Trying to hold this as straight as I can, right there. 3 feet. 3 feet of clearance, give or take. That doesn't make me feel comfortable, knowing that power can arc. There's actually some lines on our farm that are drooped too low, and they need to be, SAS Power actually needs to be notified about them. They will come and hang them higher, they have to for liability issues. Because they're just too low, we can't get under them. Too dangerous. There you go. All right, there we go. We're just gonna come back the other way here. There we go. We're gonna overlap just a little bit. Recenter our line. Hit the auto steer. There we go. So then I'm gonna seed right along here, and I'm gonna go right up to that power pole without actually going around it. I was a little crazy here with this one. Normally you would do a little better job. You wouldn't come out so far. Don't judge me. I'm holding the phone. No, you're not actually overlapping if you're running your sectional control. I'm getting awfully close to that power pole. Talking about power poles, I'm getting too close to it. Always be ready to stop in case. Got a little closer to that one than I would like to. There you go. Hit the auto steer again. There. Well, what about that little teardrop, Mike? You left a little teardrop there. Yes, I did, and you don't worry about that. That's just inefficient. You gotta try and get that little teardrop. Well, Mike, I've got questions, and I kind of figured you guys would. And I'm no professional, but I'm just going off of what I can remember. What happens if I actually hit a power line? What happens if I actually knock that power line right down? It falls down on my air drill and it's shorting out like crazy. First of all, stop. If you haven't stopped already, you probably should have stopped about 10 feet ago, but get that thing stopped. Second of all, don't freaking panic. As soon as you start panicking, you're gonna start making dumb decisions, and dumb decisions is most likely gonna cost you your life. Second, take a few seconds, evaluate the situation. This is just what I would do. Evaluate the situation, okay? Is something gonna start on fire? Is something already started on fire? Is it safe for me to remain in my cab? These are questions you need to evaluate and ask yourself before you start making any other decisions. Once you realize that, hey, okay, I'm not on fire, it's shorting out there, I see sparks happening, note that power lines have fuses. It will eventually, hopefully, blow that fuse, but do not assume, all right, I'm gonna say this again, but do not assume that it will. Just assume that that power line, as long as it is on your drill and on the ground, is live, all right? If you assume that it blew the fuse and you thought that it did, you jumped out, you're probably gonna be fried chicken. Now, in saying that, you probably should either call 911, which hopefully they will patch you in with SAS Power, because since we already assumed that our power line is live, even if it might not be, you need to get that power line shut down, okay? So you gotta call the right people, get that power line shut down. Yes, that's Brian, he's moving to the next field. And then once you've let the authorities know, like SAS Power, 911, then they will guide you through the next following steps. But if you are on fire, If you see immediate risk, maybe it didn't fall on your drill. Maybe you freaking hit it smack dab here, or maybe it's in your blind spot right here and it fell right here, and it is actually, your tractor is on fire. Now you have some decisions you gotta make. And with those decisions, guys, make them quickly. Make them promptly. Get to the point. Don't lose your cool. It can happen to anybody. It can happen to myself, okay? You need to address, will that fire get to me? How much time do I have? You need to call the appropriate authorities. You want to get that power line neutralized, shut off, killed, whatever you want to call it. You got to get that line off. If you cannot get that line off, now don't quote me on this, I'm just going off of what SAS Power, I think, told me way back in the day, but it's been a long time. You could probably check out their websites or whatnot, or your own power company or hydro company or whatever you want to call yourself. If you got to get out, it's either you burn to death or get out. Well, I'm gonna risk it for the biscuits and jump as far out as I can before I'm gonna burn to death in this cab, because you're for sure gonna die in the cab, and you got a 50-50 chance if you jump. Those are not odds that you want to be thinking about. Those are not decisions you want to be thinking about, okay? But if you're gonna have to jump, I'm definitely gonna open my door. This is plastic, this is steel. I'm not gonna touch the steel. I don't know why, but it's just something tells me I'm not gonna want to touch or try to stay away from touching any steel in the tractor, okay? Maybe there's currents running through that steel. Plastic is okay. I'm gonna maybe take a glove and I'm gonna try very cautiously open up my door, and I'm gonna stand on the carpet. I'm gonna put my shoes on, and maybe if I could get like that much rubber under my shoes, that would be awesome. And I'm gonna try and get a running jump, and I'm gonna try and keep my feet together, and I'm gonna jump out as far out there as I can, or hopefully away from the line. You definitely do not, please don't jump into the line, and escape danger. Hopefully you will land, and then I can't remember if you're supposed to shuffle or hop. I don't think you're supposed to hop. I think you're supposed to shuffle, but I don't know, it's been a long time. Anyways, hopefully you never have to make those decisions, because I don't know how we even got down this rabbit trail. I was just showing you power lines and going around power poles and wagon steer versus fixed frame steer and so on and so forth. But here we are jumping out of our tractor and saying we have a 50-50 chance of survival. I think I got all the questions. Why couldn't you just drive away? Why don't you just drive and pull away from it and then let the line just drag off your unit, and then you're safe from the line? Because if that power line falls in your tractor, it is going to fry all your electronics, and it's going to kill your tractor, okay? It's just going to... Excuse me. Oh boy, I shouldn't do that, I guess. Yeah, it's just going to kill your tractor. So you're going to be dead in the water. Hopefully not literally. I wanted to show you this because I wanted to show you how much more drill is actually sticking out past your caster tires. You got your caster tire, this is what you're looking at, but look how much actually sticks out past, and some drills actually stick out even more. They can be way over here. So you really have to try to remember that and account for that when going around power poles. Because the first thing that's going to hit a power pole is going to be obviously the first thing that's sticking out. Like here, you can tell we've hit stuff here. You can tell that we've ran through some barbed wire fences right there. We've scratched the paint up, so it does happen, okay? Mostly barbed wire fences. We've never actually hit a power pole. Well, I think I may have just about nicked one or two before, but I can't remember. But mostly barbed wire fences. I just wanted to show you the power pole. These power poles aren't super duper big, right? And some of these power poles are pretty old and rotten. And let's just say it wouldn't take much to knock some of these old sticks down. Hey? I feel like I could knock it down if I hit it too hard like this. All right, here's some carnage damage from years past. Not always us, most likely it isn't. I don't remember hitting anything over here. See? Take some trims off. Now, if you knock down a power pole, that's on you. If a power pole wasn't placed high enough and it drooped too much, shorted out, that's on your hydro company or SAS Power. Most power poles are numbered. So you should be able to report that number. That way they know what pole, what wire maybe they have to pick up, so on and so forth. This circle, it's around 15 feet in circumference, okay? That's, normally I'm closer than this, but it was that, there's some garbage over there. That's that garbage. It's that fence line that's kind of throwing me off, okay? Some you get too close. Some are like this close. And if you had the old cultivator shovels on, you can be under the dirt and you could be sawing it off, even though the shank is going right here. You're you're like sawing it off with the wing of the cultivator shovel. Okay? Alright guys, enough of Power Pole 101. Let's get back to seeding. Whoa, Mike. I got a few other questions here before you let us go. Okay, so you get out safe, everything is all hunky-dory, but you fried all your electronics and everything like you said, and it killed your tractor dead, and fried all the harnesses on the drill, and fried the computer and everything on the drill and the tank, and so that's got to be a huge expense. Yeah, that would be a very big expense. You better be hoping for an insurance job on that one. And, well, can you rebuild it, get it back to new, that seating? Ha! No, I doubt that. If you're in the middle of seeding and take out a tractor or a drill, do a power pole, you might get it back up and running depending on the circumstances and how bad it was fried and maybe what was fried, but most likely it's probably going to be out for the season. Well, Mike, is it ever as good as new? Well, you know what? I don't know. I think the jury is still out on that. Sure, electronics can be replaced. You can put new monitors in. You can put new wiring harnesses on. Heck, if it blows out your tires or blows holes in your tracks, which is most likely going to happen, you can put new rubber on. But I would be more worried about the bearings in the engine, the bearings in the transmissions. You know, did it arc through a bearing? You gotta remember, there's thousands of volts going through, depending on what kind of line you took down, going through that tractor or drill. Is it ever the same? I don't know. Maybe you guys can tell me. Maybe it's fine, but I would be worried about those types of things. I wanted to note, not only can you fry yourself like a chicken by taking down a power line or going underneath a sagged line, but I am not a big, I actually really dislike sprayers and when their booms go vertical. I think that's incredibly dangerous. I'm not even a fan of it. I don't even think they should be sold. They should have different types of booms on there. I'm perfectly fine with booms going out horizontally, that's fine, but they should not be going out vertically, because you know what, you guys, we're working 16, 18 hours a day. Sometimes we're going 24 hours. We're literally working on the farm. It's our living, it's our life, and we make mistakes. We all do. You don't sleep for 20 hours, you're more prone to making more mistakes than if you had 8 hours of sleep. It's fact. It's not rocket science. You shouldn't be able to figure that out. So maybe you're coming in with your loaded sprayer and you're trying to keep ahead of the drills, and you pull underneath the power line and it's night. Maybe you're spraying at night. You didn't even freaking see the power line there, and you completely freaking forgot that it was in that field. You haven't slept in 20 hours, trying to stay ahead of 3 drills with 1 sprayer, and you boom out your vertical booms and bam, right into that power line, and it shorts it out and it kills you. Or hopefully you can get out of it. I just don't like sprayer booms that fold out vertically. Now that I've said my piece there, you guys have a good one. Oh, and as you guys know, these videos are very delayed. I typically do 3 videos a week. Sometimes I'll do 5 videos a week. Just kind of depends on how many videos I have uploaded on YouTube, ready to rock and roll. Currently, I am about a month ahead of you guys. We'll see if I keep that pace. If you would like to follow me around more personally, I would definitely check out Patreon. I upload there all the time. We have a pretty good family going on there, and I'm very active and so on and so forth. So follow me on there if you would like to, and if not, that's cool too. You guys have yourself a good one. Adios.